Hunger in America is not an accident. It is a policy choice. My name is Nan Wilson, and over the next few minutes, I want to make one case. Defending anti-hunger policy is racial justice work, not just policy work. Anti-hunger policy is basically made up of SNAP, the child nutrition programs, school meals and WIC, women, infant, and children, and Title IV of the Farm Bill. These programs are the closest thing this country has to a commitment to ending hunger. They reach tens of millions of people. They are the strongest leverage point we have for reducing hunger at scale. And right now, they are under the most severe political attack in a generation. In July of 2025, H.R. 1, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, enacted the largest SNAP cuts in the program's history. Millions of households lost benefits, costs shifted onto states that cannot absorb them. What those cuts look like when they land? Longer lines, strained resources, harder choices, and they fell exactly where hunger already lives. Black, Indigenous, and Latino households face 2 to 3 times the rate of food insecurity as white households. That gap is not an accident. It is the accumulated result of structural racism. These disparities did not come from individual behavior. They came from policy. Indigenous land dispossession, slavery, the exclusion of black workers from New Deal programs, redlining that denied black and brown communities the investment that still shapes food access today. The undervaluation of labor in sectors where workers of color predominate. Lauren Fries said the food system works as designed. It's producing abundance for some while reproducing scarcity for others. So, the people harmed by the erosion of these programs are not accidental victims. This understanding is not new. People who came before us lived it. Fannie Lou Hamer founded the Freedom Farm Cooperative in 1969 because she knew land and food were inseparable from freedom. The Black Panthers established free breakfast for children programs, naming hunger as a tool of oppression before the federal government acted at scale. Shirley Chisholm fought for SNAP and WIC as civil rights legislation, not as charity. This is a history of resistance. We do not admire this history from a distance. We need to continue it. So who's doing this work now? A couple of national organizations are the Food Research and Action Center, FRAC. It's a leading policy organization on hunger and federal nutrition programs. Crystal Fitzsimmons leads it, Gina Plato-Nino directs the SNAP work, and LaMonica Jones connects SNAP advocacy to agriculture and local economies. Feeding America Action brings the largest hunger relief network in the country. Their leadership includes Claire Babineau and a team driving Farm Bill and child nutrition strategy. These organizations define the problem, model solutions, and hold the line for advocacy. In Congress, Representative Jim McGovern of Massachusetts, co-chair of the House Hunger Caucus, has been dedicated to ending hunger in the U.S. for a long time. Senators Ben Ray Lujan and Amy Klobuchar are leading the Senate push to reverse H.R. 1. Leadership in Congress looks like persistence, staying with the fight when the cameras are gone. And the fight right now is in the Senate. Then there are the community leaders, the people this movement is actually for. Karen Washington has fought food apartheid for nearly 40 years. Leah Penniman, a Soul Fire Farm, trains farmers of color and champions food sovereignty. Bread for the World brings 50 years of bridging faith, moral argument, and rigorous policy research through faith communities. There are countless food banks and pantries who do advocacy work alongside their distribution. Their leadership expands what the public believes is possible. Proof that anti-hunger programs reduce food insecurity is not the hard part. SNAP is the most effective anti-poverty program in the federal portfolio. It has the lowest administrative cost, highest economic return. School meals improve attendance, performance, health. What gets argued less is that these programs are weakened when the people most affected are left out of their design. So strengthening them takes 3 directions. First, restore and strengthen SNAP. Reverse the H.R. 1 cuts. Second, make racial equity a governing principle, supported by data measured by subgroup. Third, build lived experience leadership into the infrastructure itself. Make this binding, not advisory. That is not an improvement at the margins. That is transforming who writes the script. There are 2 ways into this work, and a strong movement uses both. Advocacy is the insider work. That's lobbying, testimony, persuading the people who hold the power to change the rules. Activism is the outside work, direct action that confronts the status quo. The Coalition of Immokalee Workers shows the full spectrum. Farm workers in Florida's tomato fields, most of them Latino, Haitian, and Mayan immigrants, began outside the system with stoppages and boycotts, then moved inside to negotiate directly with the corporations buying their tomatoes. Almost 5 years later, persistence, they have won building protections and more than $100 million in premiums paid through to workers. That is what commitment to a cause until there's change looks like. So how can you get involved? Right now, the immediate work is advocacy, and the fight is in the Senate. FRAC's Action Center has tools anyone can use to reach their members of Congress. That is the single most direct thing you could do today. Organize, organize, organize. Maybe through the faith community, your faith community, and Bread Through the World. Bread for the World. Local organizations can include food banks, housing agencies, and parent groups. Then there is an urgent need for data, rigorous data disaggregated by race, geography, and household type on the real impact of H.R. 1. Building that evidence base is a direct contribution to everyone working to end hunger. Pick the route that fits you, individual, community, organizational, or policy. Why does this matter? Because when we defend these programs, we protect tens of millions of people, and we decide what kind of country we are. The benefits are real. Lower poverty, healthier children, stronger local communities, more resilient communities. And the deepest benefit is justice, moving from managing hunger to ending it, and changing who gets to write the policy in the first place. Hunger in this country is not a problem we will solve once and call it done. It is ongoing work on the systemic inequities of the food system and beyond. Thank you.